And we're back for another wonderful episode, boobalicious episode of the Huge Boob Corner. And today, my guest is the very lovely and very, very, very busty Stephanie Rains. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's wonderful to meet you, even though it's virtual, but still, thank you so much for being on the show. And you look terrific.
Thank you.
So very, very nice view. So I'll try to make sure not to get too distracted. Anyway, so why don't you give a little, tell us a little bit about yourself. This is your very first podcast. So, it's exciting.
It is exciting. Yeah. This is my first podcast. So this is all new to me. But yeah, like I started my journey with my boobs 3 years ago, and I basically had a full transformation. Just a little bit about myself, kind of nerdy, and growing up, hung around with a lot of the guys, not such a girly girl. And then later on in life, I thought, you know what, let me do something for myself. And so I started the transformation and the process with the boobs. And so at my first surgery, I could only go up to 750 cc's. And then, of course, like anything else, it became very addicting. So then I went up to 1800 cc's. And
okay.
I'm looking to go bigger.
So you're at 1800 right now?
I am.
Okay. Yeah. And how was it that first time, like when you had that first surgery and you came out of it, where you were like, yeah, this is good. I like this.
I did. As soon as I got back to the hotel, because we did have to travel for the surgery, I just looked at myself and I thought, when is my next surgery? From that very moment, it was, when am I going back? And so, my boyfriend's kind of looking at me like, are you crazy? Are you on too many medications? But I booked literally the next week to go back, and I had to wait 6 months. And so in 6 months, I went again for my next surgery.
So you had this, because I saw a picture that you posted, what you looked like, what was it, 3-4 years ago? And obviously very, very different. And I mean, is that something that when you look at yourself now, like you look at yourself now versus how you look then, did you ever think that what you're like, it would be that much of a different, that you'd be that much different?
It's funny you say that, because I look at that picture and you can tell the picture where I didn't have the surgery, I'm kind of slouched. I'm kind of like, the smile's not there. You look at my surgery picture and the confidence that picture has is crazy. And that's what I think did it for me, was like, look at me. Like, I want to keep going through the health and the fitness journey and continuing to do good for myself, because look at the confidence it is giving me.
So then it wasn't just the boobs that was the thing. I mean, was that like the initial thing that you did on your transformation that led to the other things like the fitness and everything?
Absolutely. Okay. So I I got the boobs and then, booked my second surgery. And, but then when I looked at it, I didn't even realize that the difference in the confidence was there. So it wasn't the real reason.
Sure.
But the different things that it did for me were also amazing.
Yeah. And so, and that was just on your first one when you went to 750.
Yeah.
So how was it when you came out with the 18s at the 1800s?
Well, I had lots of healing to do and it was fast. Yeah. But as soon as I was able to hit the public, the looks and the eyes and the compliments and the amount of people who want to touch these. Like,
big boobs have that effect.
Big boobs have that effect, right?
Yeah.
So, you're at the supermarket and it's mainly women is what's funny about it, which, the guys look, but I mean, a lot of the times, they're afraid, they're with their woman. But the amount of ladies that just want to come up to me and feel them and talk about it is incredible. That was kind of fascinating to me.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, I'm sure with the guys, it's, not just whether or not they're with somebody, but I think they also, in this day and age, they don't want to make somebody feel too uncomfortable just by even looking or doing something else. And then also, I mean, assuming that if you're out with your boyfriend, obviously they don't want to potentially create a problem there if you're together.
No, absolutely. And the reactions are different if I'm alone versus being with my boyfriend. My boyfriend's kind of intimidating looking guy.
Okay.
So I don't get as much of that. But yeah,
Sure.
no, for sure. Yeah.
Sure. Well, and that's the thing is when you see somebody, if you were to, if a guy were to see a woman like you with the boobs that you have and be like, wow, but then see who you're with and you're just like, all right. I mean, I'm curious, how did he react when you, like, was he somebody that he was on board and he was like the moment that you said you wanted to get them, or how did that work?
Yeah, so it took us about a year and a half to find the right surgeon because I wasn't about to just let anybody in there, of
Sure.
course. So it took us about a year, but he was so supportive and he has been through this journey so supportive of me.
Mm.
There was never a question if this is what I wanted to do and I had the right doctor and the right medical care, then that's really all that mattered.
Sure. Sure. And was he like, was he into big boobs already, or was he just somebody who,
Oh yeah.
okay,
Oh
so
yeah.
he was not hard to convince to when
He
you want.
was not hard to convince.
So he must have been having his own, fun when that finished.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, he's saying to me now, like, I want to go even bigger. And so he's like, all right, book the appointment. Let's go.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
obviously as you get bigger, I feel like your surgeon options might get smaller because I know that there's fewer doctors that'll actually go that large. So
I have one.
okay, well yeah. So that's
Yeah.
great. So I know that I think it was last week, you're really trying to put yourself out now because you want to, because you've been so have you been doing, like, what kind of modeling have you been doing so far?
A little bit of everything. I started out on Instagram, and honestly, we started out, and if you would have asked me if I was going to be in this place, back 3 years ago when we just started posting just pictures of my transformation, I would say hell no. Like
Mm-mm.
this just blew up for me, and my fans have been honestly amazing. So I've been trying to get more into, the girl on girl type of stuff. At the end of September, I'm going to be going to Orange County and Las Vegas to do some collabs. Can't say who with right now, but
Sure.
you'll see soon. There's some pretty big ladies out there. So that's going to be really good for me too. So really collab is where I'm focused on now.
Sure.
And it's what my fans want. Like after I posted, it was, it's what my fans came back and said, this is what we want to see.
Nice. Nice. So you want to do you want to actually like go full on doing porn at this point? Like working with other performers, and then, I mean, would you want to be interested in working with companies?
For sure. And I have already had a few companies reach out to me.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so it's been really good. The response has been good. And there's a few names that I like to work with as well. But yeah, the answer is yeah, absolutely.
Well, I have a feeling I think that people would find it difficult to not want to work with you because, obviously so beautiful with amazing boobs. I have a feeling you're not going to have a hard time finding people to collaborate with.
No, you know what? It's been overwhelming. I can't even keep up with it at this point, and be in all the places that I need to be. So I just have to strategically figure out, who I want to collab with. And then, I'll move on to the next state and to the next girl. And, certainly, I'm open to really anything. So it's not just girl on girl. That's my focus right now, but certainly,
You're going to
I've done
graduate.
stuff.
You're going to graduate to boy girl stuff?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I will. We'll
Well,
get there.
that's I'm sure your fans are going to be excited about that.
Yeah.
I mean, have they, because I mean, it's interesting how some models establish themselves as solo models for the most part, and they only do solo stuff, and they can be really successful with that. But obviously there's going to be some that are like, I want to see you with somebody else. I want to see you with other, women, other men. And, it's just, and again, if that's something that you're cool with, then that's great. But so I'm curious, like when you made this transformation, did you think that this was where it was going to lead to?
No, not in a million years. I still can't believe I'm here. I still can't believe that I have, these big companies reaching out to me. And I sit back and I think, why me? Why me? But I mean, I'm very interactive with my fans. I'm very interactive in everything that I do. So, I mean, I feel like, and I give them certainly what they want. And, so it's just, it's, un, it's still unreal to me almost just to see that I'm here in this place.
Well, and I mean, it sounds like when you started to do, when you got your boobs and everything, that it was something that was just for you, that you wanted to do for yourself. And it sounded like you didn't have any other like goal other than just changing yourself in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. There was no thought of doing this. It's just, I started posting pictures on Instagram, just in like at the beach and just normal everyday pictures.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the following picked up, and, fans wanted more, and they wanted to interact more, and they wanted to see more content and me with different people. I mean, I even do just scenes of putting on makeup, and who thought, like, just me putting on makeup, like, people are paying me for this and they want this.
Yeah. I mean, huge boobs are an amazing thing. Like there's, I mean, you could do videos where you're just trying bras on and that's all you're doing. Yeah. You're not doing anything other than just trying on clothes, and people will be really into that just because, they would love looking at you. So I'm curious, do you have any goals in particular that you'd like to do while shooting porn? Like, is there, in terms of the type of scenes that you'd want to do?
I am interested. So, I do want to, I'm very dominant. So
okay.
I'll start with that. And so I'm 5 feet. So you would think that
you're only 5 foot.
Of my stature. I'm only 5 foot.
Wow.
So I'm thinking, come on. Yeah. So I've been, so I'm only 5 foot. So, I'm quite dominant. So I want to get more into that.
Sure.
With the porn side of things.
Boy, now sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, now I'm imagining, because that I had Fallon Jane on.
I know Fallon very well, yeah.
And on her show, because I know that you said that you had watched it, that she was talking about how she had recently done something where she was dominated by another woman. And now I'm imagining, because she's like 6 feet and you're 5 feet, and imagining the two of you now with this, with her being obviously so much taller, but then her being submissive to you, I think would be an incredible probably scene, which I'm sure
I hope I'll make sure she watches this, but absolutely, I would love to work with Fallon. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I think she's definitely on board. She'd be on board with that too. Yeah. So okay, so it's interesting then, since you're dominant, how did that come about? Did you realize have you always kind of had a dominant personality, or was it just something that kind of developed, throughout your life?
I've always had a dominant personality. So even in my professional life, I'm just a boss bitch. That's just the way it's always been. Mm-hmm. And then my boyfriend is also pretty open. So, I will dominate him, and that's always been a thing. I can switch, of course, but my preference is to be dominant.
Okay.
And it's been bred into me. It's just something I've always had and I've always enjoyed. Not everybody likes it, so you have to find the right person to bring it out on.
True. Oh, and was that something where you started out as being more dominant just in your everyday life, and then it transferred to your sexual life, or was it the opposite, or how did that happen?
No, I think it was in my everyday life, and then I just transferred it into my sexual life, and it worked. Mm-hmm. Men and women both love it.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Is it something that people might not expect of you when they first meet you, because you are a little, you're a shorter person, you're a smaller person, so they might not expect that?
100%. And I think it's been a shocker for some people, both men and women, when I start to bring it out and they see it, and then they just kind of go with it, and then they come to enjoy it. But their response is, "Holy shit, you're bringing this out. Like, you look so sweet and you look so innocent, and then you just bring out, this badass bitch who is dominating the hell out of us." So yeah, no, it is interesting.
Is it something that you try to it comes out, say, naturally during a sexual encounter, or is it something that you try to figure out if the situation warrants it?
Yeah, I try to figure out if the situation warrants it because it can be scary to some people, and it's always been intriguing to me, honestly, like the dominance and the psychology behind it, and the people who want that type
Hmm.
of sexual encounter. So because for me, like I said, I'm dominant myself, but I'm more submissive. Like I want to be dominated too. So
Sure.
it's interesting how it works, right? And
Yeah.
everybody's not the same, so you just have to be careful, and you can push some people more than others. And so you don't want to get to that point where you push them and it becomes not fun for them either. So
Oh,
you've got to have experience with it.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, that's why, Dom is essentially a profession. I mean, there are women out there
Yeah.
that is their job, and it is, and I hope that I can have someone like like a professional Dom on the show at some point, because I'd have a lot of questions because some people I think have a lot of misconceptions about dominant people or dominant women in there, where they behave a certain way and they might think that they're either uncaring or unfeeling or me or whatever. And I feel like I think that being dominant has so many different facets to it. It seems like in
Yeah. Yeah,
terms,
I would agree.
yeah, because I mean, I don't know, I don't know if you got in your closet like a strap on and you're ready to peg or something. Oh, you do?
Oh, I've got a few. Oh, I've got a few. I've
Yeah.
got a whole closet full of Dom stuff. My end goal is to actually have a dungeon at some point.
Oh, well, that's nice. That's a nice goal to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, there's also, a lot of good content opportunities there too, to do those kinds of, pegging scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so, so I wanted to ask, like, going back to the transformation was it just something that you just said to yourself, or was it something like one day, was it something you're like, okay, I want to change myself, I want to do something, or was it something that had been in you for a long time and you finally decided to start making the changes?
Yeah, I think it's been in me for a long time. I've just been, busy with work and, life and everything. And so you put things on the back burner. And then eventually I just got to the point that, I've worked long and I've worked hard, and I've worked ever since I was a teenager. And so let me go do this for myself. And it was just something I had to do, right? Take the time off, make sure that I made the right changes, made sure I, got exactly what I wanted, and continued to work on me. So it was in me before. It's just making the change.
Okay. And it's something that, because now, I mean, we see a lot of this now, it seems like, where there's a lot of women out there that are making these big body transformations, and it seems like it has a really great positive effect on you. Has it been pretty much this positive thing?
Oh, it's been very positive for me. Like I said, there's so many different things that it's done. It's opened up so many doors. There's this now, with
Yeah.
the modeling and the porn, and which is very lucrative. And I would have never imagined that, some of the things that people are paying for, they're paying for.
Yeah.
But they're paying for me. Like they're paying for me, and they want to see. So it's opened up a whole new chapter for me, essentially. And I'm passionate about it, and I love doing it. And some of the girls that I've met are, the most inspirational and supportive women I've ever met. And
Mhm.
I hope to meet them someday too. So, I would say that I've made some friends along the way, more than I think I've had in high school.
Really?
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
sorry, you go.
No, the women are so supportive, and they just, you would think it would be at first when I got into this, I thought, how are the women going to interact? And is there going to be, the jealousy, or you're always going to have the haters, but, I can
Unfortunate.
honestly say that I haven't had much of that. Like, I mean, I think of Fallon, she's amazing.
Mhm.
I've learned so much from her. And everybody's willing to help. So it's been really an amazing journey.
And it sounds like it's just starting, because
It's just starting.
yeah, this chapter, I mean, because so you got your first surgery when?
It would have been 3 years ago now.
So you got it during the pandemic.
I did get it during the pandemic. It was when the pandemic hit in March
Okay.
is when I went. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like that's almost good timing, because it seems like a lot of things were closed. So it's like you could heal up a lot more easily.
Well, it was good timing. You're right, because the airports were busy, so it was great travel trying to get to the location. And then the other thing too is I was working from home.
Oh,
So
that
you're
made
right. So
easy. Yeah.
for recovery, it was really easy. I did have to take some time off, but of course I could get right back at it again because I was working from home at the time. So, and it was still my second surgery. We were still in the pandemic, not as bad as first.
Sure.
But it also made it easy because again, I could work from home. So it was really good timing.
Yeah. Well, and I'm curious now, are you looking to make adult work your primary source of income at this point? Because do you still work your other job?
I do currently still work my other profession,
Okay.
but what I want to do is I just want to focus on the porn side of things.
Okay.
And like I said, because I just started getting into it, I didn't really realize what could happen or what it could do for me. But
Sure.
absolutely, it's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. This is definitely a lot of work. So having a full-time job plus this is a full-time job.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. It's not going to work with how busy I've been and the people who want to collab and the travel that will be necessary to do it and all of that stuff. So I really do hope just to move on and just do this as my sole profession.
Well, and I mean, because I don't know because if you find something that you're passionate about, that's something that is truly a gift in terms of what you can make money at. So, like hopefully hopefully this might actually yield some sort of financial result because it'd be, I mean, I love doing this, and even if it doesn't, I'll still do it. But,
Right.
But getting the opportunity to do something that you love. And so, I mean, have you always been a very sexual person?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I've always been a sexual person. And with this, it's fun and I'm passionate about it and everybody loves sex. So
They do?
it's something that I think I didn't realize that I was as passionate about this until I got into it and then realized all of the different things. And I mean, there's lots of different sexual scenarios you can go through. So it's never going to be a dull moment.
No,
right.
no.
And I'm very open. I will do everything. So for me,
Companies
if
take
you
note.
just tell me, take down. But no, I will. I'm open to just about anything. I'm comfortable with my sexuality and I'm comfortable, with everything that there is. And so, I mean, for me, it's a lot of fun too.
Mm-hmm. So, like with being very sexual, was that something that you were comfortable with? Because I know some people can be, they might look at being hypersexual, or I don't know if you consider yourself hypersexual, but having a high sex drive or loving sex, that people are still worried that, that's a bad thing. But
No, I don't.
Sorry.
I mean, I think you live your life and there's other things outside of sex for sure. But I think like I wouldn't call myself hypersexual. I just am comfortable and enjoy having fun. And yeah, that's it for me.
Nice. So I'm curious then, do you have any very memorable or favorite sexual experiences that you've had?
Oh.
If you can.
I think some of my favorite, I go back to the dominating.
Okay.
To the dominating. So the first time that I dominated a woman was pretty memorable for me. And it really made me realize that I enjoy women.
Okay.
Very, very much. Right. Like, so, that was an interesting experience, I would say. And,
would you like to elaborate more on how that came about? Was it, somebody that you had known, like a friend, or was it somebody that, how did it happen?
Yeah, so it was, I've actually collabed with her as well.
Okay.
You might have seen that, but yeah, so, we were it is a friend and she came over and we were going to collab and we thought we were just going to do, the normal girl on girl. And then, one thing led to another and then it turned into her wanting to be dominated. So I put on the strap on and, got the whip out And
Yeah.
and then so that's really how it transpired. And then it's just I've got lots of other things too, but it was just interesting. That was the first time that I actually had a strap on for a woman.
Really?
That was one of my first experiences for a woman. Usually domination happens with the men for
Okay.
me.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
Um, that was probably 6 months ago.
Really? Wow. That recent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So had you never done anything with women prior to that, or you just hadn't done that?
No, I've done things with women prior. I just haven't done dominating to a
Okay.
woman.
Okay. But that was
Yeah.
such a strong experience for you.
It was a really strong experience for me. Absolutely.
Nice. Well, and I'm glad, and that was something that actually you were filming that turned into a scene, or that was something that was just private initially, and then you filmed other stuff with her.
That was private initially.
Okay.
And I always like to make sure that was my first time with her. So I was just like to make sure that there does have to be a certain level of chemistry. I mean, there's acting involved for sure.
Yeah.
But for me, I personally, if it's too awkward or we just don't jive well together, chemistry wise, I don't, you can't hide it on camera.
No, you can't.
No.
Chemistry is
So if I'm
really
going to
difficult to fake.
That's right. So if, I want it to be right and I want it to be the right content for both of us. So
Sure.
that was just a private thing, but we are going to do, now that we know that that's something that is hot and our viewers will want, we are going to do another scene with me dominating her. Yeah.
Nice. That should
Yeah.
be fun. So
Yeah.
are there things in like like what kind of scenes would you really, I mean, aside from obviously the dominating, I mean, are there specific types of scenes you really want to do? Because I know, for instance, we were discussing how, because when Fallon was on the show, she was talking about how she was in this, 17 woman orgy that she had shot while she was here. I mean, what kind of stuff do you hope to be able to do?
I would like to do so when I go to Orange County. And then when I go to Las Vegas, there's a few different scenes that I want to do. There's some cosplay stuff that I would like to do. I would like to do girl on girl with a guy.
Okay.
And then I would like to so I would definitely like to do that. And then I would also like to do, so like Fala mentioned, the orgy stuff. I don't know that was a lot of people,
Yeah.
but I would like to definitely do, start off with, maybe 8 or 9 people to work on an orgy scene, which I think will happen when I go to Los Angeles.
Okay. Yeah. Cause there's plenty of people there.
Yeah.
So, but remember, because Fallon also said when she did her thing, they weren't all like in the same place. They were all kind of in their smaller groups, scattered around in the room. But and I think she said that her biggest that she'd done was like 8 girls or women at one time. But and I mean, like, do you want to? Because again, we're in a time now where your own content creation is kind of most people's focus at this point. But would you want to be like on a couple of big sites or well-known sites to do their kind of scripted type scenes or features?
Yeah, eventually. Right now, this is my focus is really just the OnlyFans and getting more content. So that's the really big thing for me right now is I need to get the content and start building on that and start getting different people because that's really what my fans want to see. But then eventually I would like to be on some big sets and be scripted. I have no problem with acting. But again, for now, for my content, I really just am focused on, building that and making sure that I get quality content and have the chemistry with the people and make sure everything works. And, then I can be an actress thereafter.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that sounds like a great plan. Have you been trying to go to conventions to be able to network and interact?
I haven't yet, just because I'm still fairly newer. What my goal is next year, I want to go to the AVN Awards for sure. I was invited last year, but it just didn't work out, and I was still again fairly new and trying to build content.
Yeah.
but absolutely, I would like to go to some of the conventions. That's definitely one that I will be going to next year.
Oh, well, no, we'll probably see each other then because I'll probably be there too.
We'll see each other. Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be pretty busy that week with a lot of other interviews.
Yeah.
So, so then aside from, so on top of the dom, do you have any other sexual kinks that you really enjoy?
I enjoy girl on girl. So
Okay.
I've mentioned that to you already. And then the threesomes are also something that I enjoy very much.
That's something that you do with your boyfriend?
Yes. Yeah.
So do you try to go out and meet, a woman to bring back, or do you like, how do you find, that third person to join you?
So sometime, we do have a few friends that are open.
Okay.
So we do things with them, but there are times that we will go out to a bar and try to meet people. Most of the time it's our friends who are open as well, who will come over, but I mean, he's very open and he's very supportive. So, there's never an issue. And, for us, there's no limits. The only thing is really just making sure that we're doing it together.
Sure. Sure. And have you always had an open relationship with each other?
I wouldn't say open as in sleeping with other people, but we've always been very open to, kinks and different things sexually.
Okay. So like experimenting and trying new things.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, again, I don't go off and sleep with other people, and he doesn't go off and sleep with other people, but we will absolutely do anything together.
Okay. Have you ever brought in another man for a threesome to do a male, female?
We did.
Okay. And how was that?
Good. So he's very open to that. It actually went very well. And he quite enjoyed it. So that's one that we will be doing content with as well.
Nice.
Because my boyfriend is also verified, so we can actually like cross post and utilize each other's content, which is great also. So
nice.
that will be one that's going to be upcoming. And then that's actually going to take place in Vegas. So he's going to come with me and we're going to do a scene.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, so it sounds like you got a lot of exciting things coming up. So, I mean, and that's the thing. Yeah. Because I don't know exactly where you are, but if you're not around a lot of other, creators, it can, traveling unfortunately becomes a necessity.
Yeah, where I live now, so in Canada, there isn't where I live. It's a very small town.
Oh, okay.
It's oil and gas, so there's not a lot of people that are doing what I'm doing, and then there's not a lot of people that are verified. So you really have no choice. You're right, but to travel. Otherwise, I'm not going to get the content that I need, and I can't continue to do things with my boyfriend who is verified, because people want to see different people.
Variety tends to sell a little more.
It does. So yeah. So, and I mean, I love the travel, so that's not a problem. And for me, like I just got back from Belize.
Wow.
You get to, so you get to these beautiful places, and instead of enjoying your vacation, you're kind of like, where can I do content?
I know,
like,
right?
Let's get content on the beach.
Isn't that something that I almost want to say that can kind of ruin vacations, because you start to think more about, okay, I got to use my time here to do stuff as opposed to just enjoying it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because, I mean, that was one of the first times I've traveled since my surgeries. And as soon as I got there, I'm like, oh, this is going to be great for content, and let's do this and let's do this scene. And so anyway, and I was only there for probably 10 minutes.
So I can't. So then, if the fact that you live in a small town, I can imagine that as you've transformed, has there been kind of a noticeable difference of how like people interact with you, or is it because small towns, everybody tends to know each other?
Yeah.
So has it been okay, or has it changed in some major ways?
It's been okay. It's been okay. I know, like I said, you're always going to have the haters.
Sure.
Because this is an oil and gas town, it's a lot of men. So I'm
Yeah.
sure they don't mind. They don't
Probably
mind.
not. No.
So I don't get too much there. The women tend to be firm
Hmm.
ladies, and so they're not the girly girl. They don't have the plastic surgery. So you get a few people who will criticize you and
Yeah.
like, hey, why did you do this? And you were fine the way you were. But I mean, you get those people everywhere. But
Sure.
no, it wasn't too bad. Excuse me. And I think it's just more because I actually live where I live, and so it's the majority of here are men. So I really
Yeah. Yeah.
didn't didn't get too much flack for it.
Well, that's good. I mean, and that's good because I know that depending on what kind of town you're in, sometimes people can obviously be a lot more judgmental and hostile to you for no reason because obviously you don't. It seems like your personality doesn't change, who you are doesn't change. It's just how you look changes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think really the biggest struggle that I had with this was really my family because
Really? Why was that a struggle?
it was a struggle because they couldn't understand why I wanted to change. And so I said to them the same thing that you said. My personality and who I am inside and my character doesn't change because I decide to get big boobs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so it was just trying to explain that to my family, I think was the biggest thing. And I
Mhm.
mean, they're okay with it now, but it was just why are you doing this? Why do you want to change yourself? Why do you want to look different? Why are you trying to change your identity?
Yeah.
Right? But that's not what I was trying to do. I wasn't
No.
trying to change my identity. So,
Well, and because the thing is we're also in a time now where we're of the bimbofication where
yeah.
women are doing these major transformations of their bodies to as well as kind of their personalities in a way where or at least maybe or just maybe it's a character that they've created this bimbo like character to portray because obviously there's something to be said about having this kind of hypersexualized thing or person that you're putting out there, but because you don't identify yourself like as a bimbo, right? Like that's not
No,
that's not something that okay. So because do you have people that try to like project that onto you because of how you look and okay.
I do. I do. So, I mean, I've always had, the blonde hair, the blue eyes, always had the makeup. But I think once I got the boobs, everybody thought, okay, well, are you trying to be bimbo? Are you trying to be like Barbie? And no, the answer is no. I looked like this only with smaller boobs
Yeah.
prior to my surgery, like I'm not trying to, I mean, I've had my hair different colors, but my natural color is blonde, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, this isn't anything new, guys. Like I've looked like this prior to. The only thing different is that the fact that I have big boobs.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me and portraying me as a bimbo, which is not at all. And I mean, you see my Instagram
Mhm.
and all of my things. I don't go on there for, the bimbofication or any of that type of stuff.
Sure. And again, not that there's anything wrong. Some women do that and that's what they want to do. And if it works for them, it's great. But it's almost like, now some people, if you're going to just get bigger boobs and look a certain way, they might just assume you're a part of that as well.
You're 100% right. And that every day I get people who will ask me, is this
Mhm.
what you're trying to do? Is this what you're trying to accomplish? So it's funny how the big boobs just automatically portray
Yeah.
that.
Well, now here's the thing. Would you do a scene where you played a bimbo?
Mm.
Or is that something that you wouldn't, wouldn't really be your thing?
I'd be open to it if I found the right person
Okay.
in the scene. I think I would be open to it if I found the right person. It wouldn't be my choice or my pick or
Okay.
my preference.
Well,
But if somebody really wanted to do it, I would.
because that, there's going to be for years, we're going to have tons of Barbie like porn parodies, right? For how big that movie was. I mean,
Oh, I know.
the companies should start manufacturing like the Barbie human size box because for people to use in scenes.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. You might be onto something.
Well, no, I'm just saying because there's the porn parodies, they always go after because they've been doing superhero stuff now for a long time, and they're still doing it because they're still popular. But the Barbie stuff is which I don't know. It made me think, if you were comfortable doing something like that, obviously I'm sure you'll get definitely people that want to do that or want to see that from you.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
for sure. Yeah, no, I'd be open to it. Like I said, if whatever my fans want, I'll make it work and do a good job at it.
To an extent, though, because the nice thing about now is you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Like, obviously, because you will have there's always going to be fans that want to go beyond what I think your boundaries are, unless if they think they can. Obviously, great fans don't push boundaries. They accept, they enjoy, and they're grateful for what you give them, and not try to act like not try to make demands on you for it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and my fans are pretty good for that. Like they don't make too many demands. I'm not gonna lie, I've gotten some really crazy requests for videos.
No, I'm sure.
Where I just have to draw the line and say, no, I'm sorry. Thank you for being my fan. And I appreciate that you want to see this from me, but I just don't personally think I can give you what it is you're asking me for. So there's times I've had to say that, and not very many, but there are a few times that in particular that I can remember that I just had to draw the line and say, I don't think I can do this.
Sure. So I wanted to do something with you. This is actually something that I thought up right before I got here. So sorry if I didn't preface this. We don't have to, but I thought it might be a little fun because I wanted to ask you if I found this sex quiz online, and it basically just asks all the places that you've had sex. So I don't know if you don't want to, it's okay. It was just something that I came across and wanted to see if that was something that you might want to do.
Yeah, let's do it.
You want to do it? Okay, you want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Because I am so I didn't have time to look at all of the options, but some of the ones I was like, okay. So I'm hoping that, anyway. So, and you're supposed to give a check mark to everyone that you've done, and then you submit it, and then it gives you I don't know if it's a score or something, but you're down?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here we go. Skype sex.
Check. Yes.
Okay. Sex in a public bathroom.
Check. Yes.
I just can't get over the hygiene of that.
Can I just tell you where the sex in the public bathroom was? It was actually in a public bathroom in Cuba. So figure out what that hygiene looks like.
Yeah, wow. Well, man, I feel like, wow, I wish I could get more into that. Sex in a public bathroom in Cuba. That sounds like an amazing story. So, sex in a car.
Yes.
Okay. Sure. Very cramped, usually, at least, for me, because I'm bigger. So if you're 5 foot, it might be easier. Or if the car's bigger.
Yeah, I'm all good.
Sex in a pool.
Yes.
Okay. Hotel sex.
Check, yeah.
Motel sex.
I don't stay at motels.
Okay.
No.
All right. Then no. Yeah. Airbnb sex.
Yes, check.
Okay. Here we go. Sex in your parents' house.
Yes, check.
This next one I almost don't want to say. Sex in your parents' bed.
Actually, yes, check.
Okay. Well, I don't know if they're going to see this, but sex in the kitchen.
Yes, check.
Okay. Sex on a couch. That's
yes.
Yeah. Some of those are gimmies. Sex in the shower.
Yes, check.
Sex in the bathtub.
Yes, check.
Sex in a hot tub.
Yes, check. Yeah, this is not cool.
Sex on the beach.
Yes, check. In Belize.
I couldn't get over the sand. I feel like getting sand everywhere would just be a little uncomfortable. Sex on the floor.
Yes, check.
Sex in the office.
No.
Okay.
No, I can't say I ever have.
I feel like that's really tricky now.
Yeah.
So, sex in a local park.
Yes, check.
Okay. Sex at a national park.
No, no.
Yeah, I don't know how many national parks are up there in Canada. I mean, I'm sure there's.
We have a few.
Okay. Sex on a desk or table.
Yes, check.
Okay. Sex in a tent.
Yes, check.
Sex on a rooftop.
Ooh. Ooh, I feel like that's dangerous. No.
Probably, yeah. If it's slanted, yeah. Sex at a music festival.
Yes, check.
Ooh, interesting. Because that would be difficult because not a lot of privacy at music festivals. Unless you're at a campsite, possibly.
But it's a park. It's a park
Okay.
at a festival. It's Bear Creek Park. Yeah.
Ooh, this one. Sex in a church or place of worship.
No.
Okay, that's that I don't know. I don't know who I wouldn't feel comfortable with that, even though I'm not even religious. I'm like I don't know. That just seems a little. Ugh. I wouldn't be able to be in the mood. Sex in an elevator.
No, I have not. No.
That's something. Yeah, that's because you're on limited time on that one.
Yeah, that's right.
Sex in a parking lot.
No, not. I've been in a car in a parking lot, but not just in a parking lot.
Sex against the hood of a car.
No.
Oh.
No.
I was going to say, maybe you get some ideas to try to fill some of these in, right?
Yeah.
Get your your boyfriend might be sex in or near a national monument.
No.
Sorry. Some of these are like, oh man. Sex on public transportation.
No.
Okay. Sex at a sports stadium.
No.
Okay. Sex on a plane.
No.
Really?
But that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how do you if you have somebody beside you, it makes it a little complicated.
Well, I mean, it's the bathroom. It's using an airplane bathroom, and the problem is those bathrooms are really small.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like you'd be able to fit probably well, but if your boyfriend is bigger, it might be difficult for him. So you have to do like a long international flight because those planes are bigger, so the bathrooms are bigger.
Yeah.
Sex in a museum.
No.
No. Sex in a fitting room.
Ooh, I want to do that. No.
Good idea though, right?
It's a really good idea for content too. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Sex in the woods.
Yes, I have.
Canada. I'd imagine that's possible. That you got a lot of woods to work with up there.
We do.
Sex in a cornfield.
No.
I don't even know if you have cornfields up there. I feel like it might be too cold.
What's funny is that when I was a little child, we used to go camping, and I actually got lost in a cornfield.
Really?
And they had to get like search and rescue in after me, and it was really dramatic. And I was only like, I think 5 or 6 at the time. So yeah, we do have them.
Wow.
So I stay out of cornfields, all right? So there won't be any of that happening.
Okay. I understand. Sex in a fast food restaurant.
No.
Okay. Ugh. Sex at a cemetery.
No.
Yeah, same thing like the church. Like,
wrong.
Yeah, sorry. Sex in the backyard.
Yes.
Sex in a hospital.
No, that's also kind of wrong.
Yeah. Sex on a washing machine?
Actually, yes, on a dryer.
Okay.
Not on a washing machine, but on a dryer, yeah.
I'll allow it. You know, it works.
Okay.
Sex inside a nightclub.
Yes. Check.
Sex in the library.
No.
Okay. Sex on a trampoline.
Yes, actually, I have a trampoline.
Nice. Probably gives you a lot of support, with the bouncing and.
Yeah, it feels great.
So we are almost done. Sorry, it was a long list. Sex in a movie theater.
No.
Okay. Sex in a stairwell.
No.
Sex on a hammock. That would be difficult.
No. How do you figure that out? But I haven't.
Sex on a golf course.
No,
Okay. Sex in a dorm room.
no.
Okay. And the last two, sex on a bunk bed.
Yes, actually.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. On
T-
my girlfriend's children's bunk bed. Anyway,
oh, top bunk or bottom bunk?
it was the bottom bunk.
Okay. And the last one, sex on a waterbed.
No.
Okay. So I'll just do a quick see if it wants to give me the results. And all right, 25 out of 52. Not bad, but there were some good ideas in there for you.
There were a ton of good ideas.
So
I'm absolutely taking away the changing room.
Right? Yeah. Appreciate the participation. So sorry that if that went a little longer than I thought. I didn't realize the list was going to be that long.
That's okay.
So, I wanted to close out because we still have a little bit of time left and focus on boobs, because that's always the
focus on boobs.
Exactly. So you love, I assume, having huge boobs.
Love it.
Okay. What is your favorite thing about having huge boobs?
My favorite thing about having huge boobs is they sit perfectly on my chest. I don't have to wear a bra.
Mm-hmm.
Every shirt that I wear looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that I don't wear that doesn't look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way they feel. I like touching them. I like how they're squishy. Yeah, I love everything about them.
Okay, so they're not super hard then?
No, they're not super hard. They're pretty squishy still. I think if I were to go up, they might not be as squishy. So I kind of have to consider that when I make my decision. So because everybody likes squishy boobs. So
yeah.
But mine are pretty squishy, and yeah, like just not having to wear a bra and just being in a bikini, and you look amazing no matter what you wear.
Yeah. And so you're at 1,800 now. Do you have a size that you think you would want to try to go up to next, like 2,000, 2,500?
Well, I would like to go up. So I'm 1,800 cc now. I want to go up to 2,800 cc.
Okay. And would that be like that's where you would cap yourself? That's where you would finish?
I mean, I think like it's pretty addicting. So, I mean, I think 2,800, I may not be able to go bigger than 2,800. I mean, it's whatever, medically is possible, but, I think 2,800 is my final goal.
Well, because you have implants right now, and they're not fillers, right? You're not getting okay, because that's where it seems like you can go to those super size, like super size. Because I mean, obviously yours are super size too. It's funny, you look at huge boobs long enough, you start to think that boobs that aren't super huge in your head, but everybody else thinks they would be like.
I know.
Isn't that funny though? How like the more you see, like, oh man, these are 4,000, 5,000, those are enormous, but 1,800s, those are fine.
Yeah.
Right?
No, and it's funny you say that, because I look at them so much too, just because I'm always on with the girls and I'm interacting, and there are girls that are up to the 2,800 cc, and I'm like, they're so much bigger than mine. It looks like I only have 800 cc's in mine, and they make mine look so small. But if you look at me in comparison to somebody else, they are quite large.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, they're and that's something where, because it's so what's the bra size that you're currently at?
Well,
if you don't really wear them, right?
I don't really wear them because I have an internal bra. Oh, okay. That was part of my surgery.
I didn't even know that. Wow.
Yeah. So the doctor that I chose, one of the reasons that I chose him too, is because he patents the internal bra. So I don't have to wear a bra. Like, that's why they're sitting so nice and high.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I didn't even realize that you could do that. I'm still learning stuff.
Yeah, you can. And I recommend it. Highly recommend it. But okay. I do have 2 custom bras. And I think the last one that I had made, because you can't get the size, I think it was like a triple K or something.
Nice.
Or was it triple N? Either triple N or triple K.
And
anyway, but It's custom.
Okay, I'm wondering if Canadian sizes and American sizes are similar, or because I know like European sizes are very different because they measure based in centimeters. Which I mean, is that how they do it in Canada too?
Yeah, so ours are exactly the same as the US,
Okay.
different than European. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
And is when I'm curious because had you always been interested in big boobs? Like when you didn't have them, did you like looking at big boobs and did you like
Yeah.
looking so you loved looking at women with huge boobs?
Huge boobs. I love looking at boobs. I love touching boobs. I love feeling boobs. Like anything to do with the boobs, I've always loved.
They are pretty
I like
amazing.
bums too. I like bums too, but I have to say the boobs are what I'm looking at. Your smile and your boobs are what are important to me.
Sure, sure. And if you got both that are really good, then it's a good package.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so then you like huge boobs on other, do you prefer natural or enhanced, or it doesn't matter to you?
Doesn't really matter to me. It's just the size is what matters. I tend to go for more of the implants just because they sit nicer on
Yeah,
a you get saggy after a while when they're natural. So that I just tend to gravitate more towards. But
sure.
there are lots of women with real boobs that are nice too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, there definitely are.
Yeah.
Um, would you say that the like uh so your favorite thing about them is how they fit in clothes? Um, and obviously, I'm sure you're starting to get a lot more attention from it. And I mean, has obviously the attention that's been mostly positive. Is that something that you were happy about when you started getting it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was very happy. And I mean, it also, like, I'm sure that I love watching them bounce. So when, when I'm having sex, it's not so bad to like have them almost hit me in the face. It's great to be able to see. And I'm sure that anybody having sex with me enjoys it too. So, I mean,
Sure.
I find that super sexy about them too. That's another thing that
The
I really
bouncing.
like about them.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah, the
yeah. Oh yeah.
bouncing.
Bouncing boobs. Oh, well, you got a trampoline. The fact that I mean, you can make some trampoline content, right? They're just
Yeah,
you jumping on the trampoline and then not say nothing about having sex on it.
I know. I know it's fantastic, but I mean, it's just, even if I'm at the grocery store and I'm like working around and they're bouncing and moving, it's just, the attention you get just from that.
Yeah. So it's they're and they look pretty wonderful. Are there models out there who you see their boobs and you think those are, I mean, obviously I'm not trying like if you love your own, but whose boobs besides your own have you seen that you're like those are perfect or those are amazing?
I don't, um, there was only one other model that I seen, and I think she had 2,800 cc's.
Okay.
And I was like, those look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Those look amazing. And that's what made me want to go up to the 2,800 cc mark.
Okay. Okay. Because you loved that size.
I love the size, and she was very petite like me too.
Okay.
So you have to be careful. You don't want it to look, too.
Yeah, a little too cartoonish, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, she looked great, and so
Well, because that's
yeah.
another thing. It's hard to tell. And because again, in your pictures, I had no idea you were 5 foot. I thought that you were, a little. I mean, I don't know how tall you would have been, but to say 5 foot, I'm like, wow, that's, it'll be and your frame is not that big.
No,
Okay.
no.
So yeah, and I mean, how much do those weigh
So each boob weighs 35 pounds.
individually? So you're carrying 70 pounds?
Yeah, they're pretty like you can't see the bottom, like
Okay.
the bottom side, but
Yeah.
30 to 35 is what my doctor thinks that both one weighs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, and your back doesn't hurt.
No, because I have the internal bra, so everything
Oh,
has
okay.
been, so it's all attached to my rib cage and it's all stretched around my chest, and so it's keeping everything in place. I think if you didn't have that, you would probably have back problems for sure.
Sure. Sure. All right. Well, Stephanie, I wish that we could keep talking, but we're coming up to our hour mark. So I just want to say thank you so much for being on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I hope you had a great time. I had a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. Time definitely flies when you're having fun.
Definitely. And I would love to have you back on the show, maybe down the line after you've done some more stuff, and, maybe hopefully
Sure.
next time it'll be in studio.
Yeah, for sure. I would love that.
All right. Terrific. So I'm going to say goodbye. And to all of you out there in huge boob land, we will see you next time. Thanks for watching.